All right. Continuing where we left off from yesterday, heterotrophs, hetero means other, troph means feeding. Heterotrophs are creatures that eat other creatures, and they need to eat other living things to get their energy. Whether those other living things are plants, as with the giraffe on the left, or a giant turkey drumstick, as in the human on the right. Okay, so heterotrophs and autotrophs, very different ways of getting their energy. Very different ways of getting their energy. And heterotrophs eat anything from funguses and bacteria, microscopic creatures eating other microscopic creatures, all the way on up to apex predators. Apex predators, which are things like lions, carnivores that eat other carnivores and herbivores. Okay. All right, ready to move on? Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Pigment is a organic compound that you find in leaves that is useful and used in converting the sunlight's energy into chemical energy. And here we see fall leaves changing colors. And those are new pigments being produced. And those new pigments are adjusting themselves to gathering light in changing seasons. Chlorophyll is a special pigment that we're very interested in, that you guys actually investigated in lab yesterday. Chlorophyll is a green pigment that's found in cyanobacteria and other chloroplasts of algae and plants. And of course, its function is to capture the energy from sunlight and help convert that sunlight energy into glucose. And here we see the pathway from the sun through the leaf to produce those sugars that are so essential for a plant to use. Now, one of the things that the plant does is it releases energy in the form of something called ATP. ATP is a molecule, it's kind of like the dollar bill of the cell, that transfers energy from one point in the cell and from one cell to another in energy exchange within the plant. And ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate, and I'll talk about that in a second. But there's many types of chlorophyll. There's not just one type. There's chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. You'll learn about that in high school in much, much more detail. But just to realize that chlorophyll is actually a group of pigments, and they're mainly green, but in the fall time, those pigments change and new pigments are produced. Anthocyanins and other types of pigment that help in gathering that sunlight energy inside the leaf. We'll take a look at the inside of a leaf today with our coloring. Yeah, Sammy? Pigments are organic compounds in leaf cells that help the plant convert sunlight energy into chemical energy. And you can review that on the website as well by watching this video again. Okay, what we're going to look at in lab tomorrow is something called a stomata. And what you may have read in your section last night was that stomata are tiny holes on the underside of leaves that are surrounded by cells called guard cells. And these guard cells open and close using water pressure to let in carbon dioxide gas and let out oxygen gas. Okay? Yeah, Jillian. No, you can review it online. Yeah. So one hole is called a stoma. Two or more holes are called stomata. And we'll look at these in lab with some leaves that I'll collect tonight. I'll collect leaves, and I encourage you to bring in your own leaf too. So as a side note in your lab notebook, you can write in, bring in leaf to look at. Tomorrow, if you want, you can bring in a leaf from your own house. Only one per student though, just because we'll have, I'll give you a lot of leaves to investigate, but we'll probably have time for you to bring in your own leaf as well. Yeah, Joe?
Can I bring Hermes?
Yeah. You bet. Okay. I think that is it for this for now. Okay.